Hey guys, new video here. This is a random tab with a bunch of commodities and just random items in here that have some sort of value. We might know what some of them are, we might not. And I want to introduce a tool that if you find yourself in this situation where you are just dumping items, you have no idea what the item even is, you have no idea if you should use it, if you just sell it, then this video is going to go over Exilence next, okay? And that is a tool that tracks your currency per hour. It can track the value of things on your character. It can track the value of things in any of your tabs. So pretty cool tool. When I started the game, it was a little bit simpler, so everything that Grinding Gear added on, it was easy to digest, right? Because like the game was so small that a league would come out and it might just bring something as simple as like a flask. This, like, you see this Onslaught Flask here. This Onslaught Flask, you might be familiar with it, but at one point in PoE's past, this was an entire league. And what I mean by that is that now we have like Heist, we have Delirium, we have Harvest, some really crazy stuff going on, right? But in the past, imagine if next league 3.13 Grinding Gear came out and they were like, hey, the league mechanic is you have Onslaught in a map. And you'd be like, wait, what? It's a flask. And yeah, that's how it was. So it was really easy to just like take these little bits that they added to the game and get very comfortable with them, right? Nowadays, if you jump into this game, there's like all kinds of crazy stuff. There's fossils. Like, what is that? What is that? You have these fragments. What does that do, right? You have like these crazy maps here. You have like all these uniques. You have all these like replica uniques. Some of them are glowing. Some of them like you have no idea, right? Delirium, or what is that? Is that, can I use that? You know, you got Breachstone. You got all these crazy gems that are like kind of like transparent and stuff. That's kind of cool, right? So I want to try to help people, especially new players, get more comfortable with this kind of stuff, because it is really daunting, and a lot of time you're just like, man, I have no idea what's going on. Purpose of this video, for the purpose of this video, I will not be talking about rares at all. I will not be talking about price checking rares. That is something that's, I don't even want to get into that. This will just be talking about commodities, uniques, and things like that, okay? So I've taken this tab. Now this is labeled trader, just because I have a trader that I dump all of the somewhat valuable stuff to, and then he gets 30% of whatever he sells. So it's a really nice system here, but I digress. Okay, so here, let's say you have a map for an entire day and you want to know how much things are worth. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this tool right here. This is Exilence Next, and basically it is a third-party program. It is not directly associated with Grinding Gear games. It does use like it does use like your login, your PoE SSID from the login site to like kind of like pull all the data. I don't really know how it works technically, but it is safe. I've been using it since its first version. Probably it's got to be at least like a year or two, right? Before this, it was like Currency Cop and things like that. So as you can see here, I have a list of things that are in the price of like their C value, and what you're first going to do is you're going to download this, and when you open it up, it's really important that you know how to log in, right? And the way you're going to do that is to use your PoE SSID. It doesn't use your email or your actual password to log in, so that's kind of safe, I guess, maybe. But the way that you're going to do it is you are going to pull up your Chrome browser, and you're gonna, or not, maybe you're not using Chrome browser, but you go to your internet browser, you go to pathofexile.com, make sure you're logged in, and you're gonna hit the F12 button. When you hit the F12 button, there'll be this like little like hacker man screen that like pops in on the right side. And then you'll go to cookies, okay? On the left side of that pop-out screen, it'll say cookies. Click on that. Click on the Path of Exile website. Then on the right side, you will see PoE SSID. You can double-click on the thing in that category, copy it, and then paste it into the login, and then it'll bring you to a screen like this, okay? So once you've gotten logged in and everything, it'll probably be blank for you because I've already loaded this. You're going to notice like some things on here, right? Right now is net worth, and these are the tabs that I have personally selected. You can see the tab right here. This is my trader tabs. You can see the income, which is currency per hour. This means how it's going to track it starting right when you put something in there, and it like fills it up. Or sorry, it refreshes automatically for you. Okay, you can change this in the settings, or you can automatically refresh it with this button up here, fetch snapshot, right? But this basically, as you're mapping, you're dumping everything in the tabs that you have personally selected, and it'll tell you how much value in C per hour you're getting. This is extremely valuable if you're wondering, let's say that your question is Blood Aqueduct for 2 hours better than Contracts for 2 hours or 1 hour? Doesn't really matter, right? And then you can kind of test it out out with this. You can like snapshot things and everything. And then if you go into the settings here, this is probably the first thing that you should do. So snapshot interval 2 minutes. This basically means that every 2 minutes it's going to refresh the tabs and pull all the data from the tabs you selected. This one actually might be a little bit long, so let me actually do 5 minutes because I can just auto refresh. So 5 minutes is pretty safe. It depends how long it takes you to do a map or a zone. So if you're doing like really quick content like contracts, you might want this to be a little bit shorter. Doing longer things, you might want this like maybe like blueprints and stuff. You can have this to be like 5, 10, whatever minutes you want. You can even have it to like 30 minutes, because remember, you can always press on this button right here, fetch snapshot in the top right, to get it. Okay, now let's talk about this. So pricing, saying this is super important, and you can you'll learn how to play around with this, but it's only a few options, right? So price threshold, right? So that means if you drop 1C and you put it in the tab, it'll count that, right? Because the threshold is 1C. Makes sense? And then if you drop, let's say, a fossil that's worth half a C, then it won't count that one fossil. But then you might be like, wait a minute, what about stacked items, right? Like stacked dicks, fossils, any commodity that stacks up, right? And that is what the total price threshold is for. That is for a stack. So for example, in the fossil example, if you drop a fossil and stacks up to 10 or 20, whatever it is, and the entire stack is worth, let's say, 2C, then this threshold will count that stack. Okay, so if you wanna play it safe, I'd say leave this at like 1C. But if you're like getting really intense into the grinding, and you find yourself at the point in the league where you're not gonna leave a map or a zone for a 2C trade, 5C trade, whatever that might be, maybe you change this up to be at that level so you can see your actual returns. Because if you don't sell anything, you don't make any money, right? Forehead, right? It's a pretty easy concept. Like if something's gonna sit in your commodities tab or your dump tabs all day long and never sell, you probably shouldn't really track that, right? You should only track currencies that are liquid, easy to convert into, like C or exalts these days. But you'll figure this out over time. Okay, as a new player that this video is aimed towards, just keep it at 1C, because, or maybe even like, I don't know, maybe can you even do 0.5C? Maybe you can do 0.5C, and that's good, because you want to learn like pricing of these things in the game. So I'm just going to leave it at 1C here. And then I'm going to go over back to the net worth tab. Okay, so how do you get started? Well, up here, well, first, actually, you should probably go into the game. And here's what you're going to do, right? So you are farming as a new player, and you might have some tabs. Maybe you have some quad tabs. Maybe you have some normal tabs. Doesn't really matter. I don't even think the tabs need to be premium because it can pull it from the website. So you're going to designate a few tabs that are your dump tabs, so to speak, which are just tabs that you dump everything into in that farming session that you want to track. So let me take this tab right here. You can right-click tabs to send it to the top right here, right? Let's say you're going to go real potato, and you're gonna farm for like 8 hours, right? And some of you might want like a few more tabs. Let me just put like, maybe you want like 3 quad tabs, right? If you're Empyrean Gaming and you're doing 144 blueprints in a row, you might want I don't know, 200, okay, in the front here. Very quick little tip right here. If you ever do go really ham on quad tabs, and you see how I had this like really neatly sorted, like my commodities and my premium tabs are all kind of right here, right? You see how that's kind of cool. If you ever like get tabs here, your dump tabs are ahead of these, right? Because like, let's say when you right click, it sends it to the front, right? So if you have like too many here and you don't want to, and you're done and they all fill, and you want to drag this, like, oh man, look how boring this is. That looks gross, right? You don't want to drag them all, or you don't want to reposition. You can just right click like this, because if you start at the bottom, it goes to the top, right? So let's say these 4 tabs right here, 99, 99, 69, 69C, nice, by the way. Let's say they're all full, and you want to put them back down here, and then maybe even change the color to indicate that they're full. You can just do this. Instead of dragging each one like an idiot, just go like this. All you gotta do is right click until you get there. Look at this. Wow, okay, now they're matching all your other quad dump tabs, and your stuff here. You see all this stuff is now neatly back in order. That's just a small tip that you can do if you want, if you have a ton of tabs and stuff that you want to keep in line. Okay, that's a little small thing there. So once again, let's go back to this. So step 1, select the tabs that you want to use as your trackers, right? And this is more, you're going to want to name it something that's easily distinguishable, right? If you have all your tabs random and they're all labeled the same thing, you saw lots of these are like 99C, it's going to be hard for you to pull it in the Exilence next tab, because they're all named the same, right? Now this one's in front, so it'll be easy to find, but you know what I mean. So maybe you name this one like I'm just gonna name this one 99C. It doesn't really matter to me, okay? But you can name it like test tab October 11th or something, okay? Whatever you want. And then once you've selected the tabs, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back into your Exilence next, and you're gonna select those tabs. So I'm gonna make a new profile here, and it's this plus sign, okay? Can I make this a little bit bigger maybe? Maybe like this. Okay, so you see this plus sign right here? This is to create a profile. And so look at it, just like automates the fiery farmer. Okay, so I'm gonna name it like, this is like tracking, maybe you're tracking contracts, right? Tracking contracts, you know, like 10, what date is it? 10/10/2020. Okay, that's my name. So then it doesn't matter what you name it. Okay, this is just for your purposes. And then what pricing league would you like to do? Because this is going to pull from the website for the league. So if you're playing standard, you select standard. If you're playing hardcore, heist, hardcore, you know, heist, whatever. I am personally playing heist softcore, so I'm going to select heist. Now, what league are you in? Well, I'm obviously in heist league, right? Pretty simple there. And then here we go. So you see right here, it hasn't updated yet because I didn't like restart the thing, but here are your stashes, and if you notice, they are in order. Hold on, now you can't see them, the drop down menu. All right, you see how these tabs are now completely in order from the last time you started this program or refreshed it. So that's how you can like find your tabs. So the 99C tabs, it would usually be up here, so you just select it in the front here to dump. Now mine is probably right here. So what I can do is I can like select this, right, and then look, it highlights it for you when you move your mouse, so you know you already selected that tab. Makes sense? And you can select anything else you want. Maybe you want this tab, or like, you know, maybe you've done it in a different ordering, so maybe you have something down here. You get the idea. Select all the tabs you would like to track. Even if they're empty for now, it's fine, because when you fill it up, it just adds it all as a whole. Okay, so for this purposes, I'm going to select my trader tabs again, right? I'm going to select both of them, and then this is what I mean when you have the same name, right? These are different tabs, but they have the same name, so that might confuse you at first, so be careful about that. And then if you want, okay, I don't know why you would really do this, but let's say you want to include your character's inventory and your character's equipment for whatever reason, you could actually select these. So let's just create a profile here real quick. And now this is selecting my two trader tabs, and wow, look at this. So I'm going to sort by the price right here real quick. Oh, what happened? Oh, I got to refresh. Okay, so if it's blank like this, first what you're going to want to do is hit the fetch snapshot button, and there you go. All of it is right there. You can hit the price button to go by lowest to highest, right? Yeah, it's kind of cool there. Total value is here if you have a stack size. And so as you can see, in this tab, right? This tab here, I have, wow, look at this. I have pure breach stones, and there's the price. And if you check the website, that's pretty accurate. You can see I have some blighted maps. I got some emblems. And here is where you're going to learn a little bit about the game, right? So once again, new player video. If you know how this works, you probably shouldn't be watching this video, but as a noob, what you should be doing is looking at the items on the left, being like, do I know what that item is? Do I know what that's for? And if not, and it doesn't like interest you to find out, or you know, if you don't have you try that content or whatever, and it doesn't interest you, or you like maybe watch it, like I don't want to do that content. For me, blighted maps are like snooze, like full-blown resident snooze, man. Like I like when I open a blighted map, my head hits the pillow, and I'm like literally falling asleep. I will never run a blighted map unless it's like for some memes or like just some weird thing going on. I don't know, but I hate blighted maps, right? And even though at the beginning of the league they are quite profitable, this is a high tier one. I think this is a tier 15, right? Look at that, it's 13C. So what you should always be asking yourself is if I don't want to do that content, or I don't know what that content is, I'm kind of scared to try it or whatever, what like would I want to sell this and get this money? And so like you might be like, oh, 13C, wow, that's pretty good. That's like over a fifth. That's over a fifth of an Exalt. Wow, that's crazy, right? And this is how you're going to learn very quickly what things are worth keeping and what are not. Because let's just take an example over here where I go to the end of this sheet, and you see these things like for 1C. In Heist League, there's no way you're going to leave your heist for a 1C trade, right? Or even a 2C trade probably. And the reason for that is because why would I leave the heist before lockdown, do a loading screen back to the Rogue Harbor, do a loading screen back to your hideout, because no one ever comes to Rogue Harbor, right? Lose a coin, because I have to use that coin to go back, right? That's another loading screen. And then trade the guy for 1C. Because in that time that it took me to even describe that, you could just clicked on another chest and gotten like another fossil, another incubator, another splinters, another raw C. Is a high likelihood that you'll get one of those things that will be more than the 1C trade that you would have done. In many cases, multiple times that 1C trade. Okay, so this is how you'll learn not only the pricing of things, but you also learn, should I, number one, have it on my filter, and number two, would I leave my map or my zone for that trade? And you'll kind of learn to like, you know, like these things you can just kind of ignore, right? Because if you see it once, you might forget, right? Like for me, I have a really hard time in gem grand heists, and the reason for that is because I have no idea what the names of the things are. I don't know what it's priced. I have to go to PoE Ninja, type it in. If you like if I type in like summon skeletons, there's like 50 listings. There's like anomalous, divergent, phantasmal, 20% quality, 2120 quality, 2023 quality, 123 quality, and it's like all this like nonsense. And even for me, new stuff, it's very daunting, right? I'm like, oh man, that's annoying. So for a new player, I can't even imagine how you guys feel, but this tool, after you see it many times, you will remember, right? Just like with us in this league, you know, the more times you see a replica lionized paws or something, you're gonna be like, oh my god, dude, not like this. Or like you see like a divergent ground slam, you're gonna be like, oh man, this is such garbage. So you'll slowly but surely learn the prices of like most of the commodities, and a lot of times the uniques in the game. You see how like here, these are the replicas. You can kind of see that, oh, those are garbage, and you'll just start to remember this. And PoE is a game about time. The more time you spend, the more you'll get out of it, and you'll become very familiar with these items in no time at all. So going back here, you know, obviously you're paying attention to the big items and selling those. One thing that I'll say about this is when it comes to uniques, in this tab, I don't have any normal uniques, I think. I might have like a Lycosa or something in there. But please keep in mind as a new player that this tool does not take into account rolls of an item. So I'll show you what I mean here. Let's say you drop an item like a gold rim, right? Now a gold rim rolls from I think 30 to 40. Let me just check right here. Yeah, 30 to 40. Look at that. Oh, game knowledge from using this item so many times. So 30 to 40 is a range of 11. So you might think if I because other tools you probably have, if you're watching this video, you probably already have some kind of trade macro, whether it's PoE trade macro, whether it's awaken trade, whether it's PoE overlay, whatever you want, doesn't matter. Okay, you'll probably have that as a basic third-party tool, the first tool that most players get. And if you control D, which is the hotkey by default on most of these trade macros, I'm going to do it on mine as well. I'm going to see that it's a 1C item, right? However, it's not actually a 1C item, because let's say that I'm not using a perfect one, but usually I probably should be. Let's say that there is any range of rolls. So, you know, item show hotkey here, and once again, we talk about 40 is the max roll. If I go into my trade macro and I search for a 40% roll, it's actually 7C, right? So it went from 1C all the way up to 7C, and that could be the difference between leaving your map for like not wanting to leave your map from a trade, or even hiding from your filter and be like, you know what, I might want that on my filter because I know a perfect one sells for this. Now there are instances of uniques like this where the highest rolls will be many exalts higher than the lowest roll. Okay, the perfect example that everybody knows is the Ventnor's ring, right? The golden ring that looks like a golden dice, and you know, a trash one is basically you vendor that. Okay, you destroy that, but a perfect one can be priceless, right? Many mirrors. Okay, so things like that are things to keep in mind. Exilence next, this tool cannot like parse the it can't gather the data on the rolls of unique items. It can only take a look at the item and search it on the trade site, and then take pretty much like the cheapest one, right? So just be a little bit careful of that. With commodities, you don't usually have this issue because, like, you know, scarabs, things like emblems, right? Breachstones, they can't really be. It's actually impossible to have a range of rolls. It's just one thing, and it's always going to be that one thing, so it's safe. Okay, these are things to look out for. But I think that this tool, if you haven't used it already, it is very fast. It is low performance hit to your computer. It is safe, in my opinion. But keep in mind, I'm not very like tech savvy, so I don't know, but this has been around for a long time, and I trust it, and a lot of other people do as well. And yeah, so use it to help you learn the game and price your items and figure out, like, you know, other ways that you might be missing out on some monies. Okay, other things I'll say up here, like in this top right, just one little thing. If you want to, like because let's say like you are tracking your currency per hour in a dump tab, and you, like earlier today, you know, I was tracking, it was going up and down, but it was staying around like a few hundred C range, and let's say you clean it up, and now it says like negative 2,000 C an hour because you just took out all the currencies out of that tab. You're gonna be like, oh no, that's not accurate, like that's not true. You can always just either make a new profile, or you can just like remove snapshots. Okay, so you can do that, and as you can see, clean, everything's clean. You're ready to restart the the data. Okay, so this button up here, the trash can, will just kind of wipe everything, and then this button over here is kind of cool. This is an overlay. It's like picture in picture kind of. When you click on this, a little pop out, like a tiny one pops out, and it's basically just like this right here, this income, and you can like kind of put that you know, somewhere on your monitor. Okay, you put it on another monitor maybe, and it's like a cool little tool. Once again, use this to track your returns. Another reason that I think that this is so good, the C per hour, is when you're a noob, you might feel like you have no money, right? You might feel like you do some ouch maps, you do some corrupted maps or whatever. You maybe even use some simple sextants, and after like a couple maps, you're like, man, I don't know if I made any money. It doesn't feel like I didn't get any exalts, I didn't get any C really, and it's easy to feel like that, especially in the first few days of a league, right? I feel like that all the time, right? I still feel like that because I'm making a Scion, and I had like yesterday I Ancient Orb another Headhunter in like 3 Ancient Orbs in yesterday's stream, and you know, besides that, we made like 100 and something exalts alongside it. And I still feel like I have no money because I'm making the Scion, and the Scion is going to take all the money. And so it's like, man, the stuff I'm running isn't very profitable, and you might get a little bit down on yourself, or you might be discouraged to farm because you know there's like, you know, the trouble is coming, right? When you know, when the items that you really want are increasing in price, and you might feel like you can't farm it. Okay, so the reason that okay, that was a big rant, but this tool right here, the income, will show you, okay, that you are indeed making money, and that anything you enjoy will make you money. If you want to run contracts all day, your income's probably going to show something in the hundreds of C per hour. If you want to run blueprints all day, that's also going to be in the hundreds of C per hour. If you want to, oh look, it auto checked my tabs. So you know, anything you want to do, right? Probably not blood aqueducts, even though blood aqueducts is fine, but like, you know, just ouch and go your maps, corrupt them, add some stuff to them, right? And you can you can take this in small steps, because a lot of new players are scared of using the commodities that they get in maps to juice up their maps further, and they're like, is that worth it? You know, if I use these awakened sextants or 1C each, you know, is that worth? And then this tool will kind of like belay your fear. Is that a word? Belay, avoid, like it'll help you like put your fears to rest, that the things that you're using are actually getting you a more C per hour. So use this to track your dump tabs and your farming sessions, and then use this up here to like mentally prepare yourself against like feeling, or to like guard yourself against you know, feeling like you're not making anything. Okay, because that's kind of how it is, right? When you're having fun, you know you're making money, time can move very fast. You know, like for me, I'm a streamer, and the worst thing is when I would say that I'm playing for what I feel like the content has lasted like maybe 6 hours. I'm like, oh yeah, I probably streamed 6 hours, right? Oh man, what a crazy, I'm worn out. And I look at the uptime, and it's like half an hour, right? It's like I literally just started my stream, but I'm like, oh, it's so boring, dude. You know, if you're a streamer, you probably know how I feel, right? Not this league though, not after this patch. So last night and the day before, after these patches, I was having so much fun, right? So I was running all these contracts, and then after I got done, I was like, oh man, I've done like 20 blueprints, I've done like, you know, 10 contracts. What was it? Is it like man, I've probably been streaming for you know, 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours, man. I feel good. And I look at the clock, it's like 7 hours 45 minutes. I remember that from like a couple days ago. I was like, wow. Wow. So there is this like little time dilation going on, where you wanna be in a good mental state when you're farming. You want to feel like you're being rewarded for your efforts, and without these quantitative measures, as a new player, it is easy to like just give up and straight up like sometimes quit the game, or like you're just so frustrated. And this will definitely help you like that, right? Because it's not like a real time dilation. I'm being kind of dumb, but like, you know what I mean, right? If you're having more fun, if you know that a certain thing is going your way, then it can feel like you're getting even like more money. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain this, but if you play PvE for a long time, you'll understand what I mean. Okay, so that is the video. Use this Exilence next. Very good tool, and yeah, and then don't get scammed of your good items. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's the video. If you have any questions about this, you can ask me on my stream. I stream every day in the evenings, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Okay, bye guys, bye.